Hey everybody, it's Tammy with Beaded Windsocks. Up next is Acquisitions 2. Enjoy. Hey everyone, it's Tammy. When I'm not beading, I'm crocheting. When I'm not crocheting, I'm beading. Welcome back all subscribers. Welcome all new subscribers. The school has been in session now almost 2 weeks, so I can get back into a different rhythm of hopefully getting, if not at least one video out per week, then at least every other week. Okay, I have works in progress, I have finished objects, I have acquisitions. The catch is that I'm not going to do them all in one video. I'm going to do the acquisitions first, and it's actually acquisitions number 2, and then I will do finished objects followed by works in progress. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started on the acquisitions, the second set, which I did yesterday. In my previous video, I mentioned how frustrated I was getting with my local Walmart about getting in certain yarns that they can't seem to keep in stock no matter what it is you do. Apologies, that was the air conditioner going off. And excuse me one more time. Whoops. Okay. Needless to say that for the past month, I have been trying to get my hands on some more Fair Isle yarn. And no matter what, my store cannot seem to get it in. And I finally told one of the gals that I can't wait any longer. There's these projects I want to do up, and I'm just going to have to go to Michael's when I go to Boise. Well, as it turns out, I went ahead and stopped at a Walmart in Boise, the one on Overland, and to my luck, I found everything I was looking for. And I do mean everything. I did not need to go to Michael's. Not to put Michael's down, but I figured I'd try the cost-efficient route first before going over to Michael's, because there were no sales going on that required yarn, and therefore at that time I figured it'd be better to go over to Walmart first before heading over to Michael's. Okay, that being said, I did find, like I said, everything I was looking for, so let's go ahead and dig into the bags and pull out everything. And I apologize for the crinkles, okay, in advance. And I hope everyone can hear me also, okay? All right, here we go. First thing I did pick up that my local Walmart did not have, but they did have them over in the other one, are the 25 millimeter boy knitting needles. I do not knit. I cannot knit to save my life. However, one of the projects I am working on requires knitting needles for the next step in the shawl. And I'll show that a little bit. I'll show the work in progress in, like I said, another video. But the next step in that shawl is what's called broomstick lace, and I need these. Okay, my husband was kind of surprised and shocked when he saw them and says, "Those are some big needles." And I went, "Yes, they are, but I only need one, but I have to buy the pack." So in the event that I'm working on broomstick lace on more than one project, I actually have 2 needles, and I can put one in each project bag or bag that I'm working projects with. Okay, all right, so that's the first item. Next up, Little One's loopy yarn that we picked up back in January, that she's been having fun just chaining, you know, putting the loops through each one to make the chain and then pulling it all back out. Well, somewhere around about 3 feet in, one of the dogs stepped on the yarn, and when she pulled on it, she dislodged the string that was creating the loop. So I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and snip all of that out, make it one long strand of yarn, and make something else out of it. And she said that was okay. Well, the catch was is that the original color she had was purple, white, and pink. While we were at the Walmart, she decided that she wanted a different color because the purple that she was looking at had gray in it, and she didn't want the gray. She either wants purple, pink, and white, or all purple. Well, it didn't have it, so she instead picked up Bernat Elise. Oh, this label's been through heck apparently. And she pulled it out of the rack. Okay, it's Bernat Elise blanket yarn. It is 6.4 ounces, 100% polyester, and this is a size 7. But like I said, she's not using a hook or anything. She's just making the big chain and then taking it all out and then doing it all over again. Okay, but this was the color she picked out, and she was happy with it because she, like I said, she picked it out. Okay, and it is colorway, oh, simple, white and pink. Okay, so this is hers, and she thanked Dad for getting it because as soon as she saw it, it was, we're supposed to get this so I can work on my chains. Well, that's what she's got. Okay, so she's happy with that. Up next, in one of the works in progress, I found that I needed one more cake. So I picked it up. All right, and this is that Ferris wheel in cotton candy. Okay, so I needed one more cake. We'll see if the shawl, the first shawl I went ahead and worked it to 23 inches, I think. And I went ahead and tied it off, and I decided to start a 5-point shawl. And it's just a simple mesh shawl, but like I said, it's a work in progress. So you're seeing now that I need another cake for it because it's not quite big enough. Okay, moving on. Jeanne from On the Hook Crochet has been quite the inspiration with her scarves and her tops. Whoops. And when I came around the corner of the yarn aisle up there in Walmart, I did a double take, stopped, and I went, oh yes, 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 I have heard of this, but I hadn't seen it and all. Like I said, I'd only heard of it right now. Okay, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and use that for one of the tops that Jeanne has designed. And I think it's the lavender and lace. As long as it's not worked in the round, it's more like panels that are sewn together, and then you sew a band on the bottom, basically. And I have to say that I saw this and I just started thinking, okay, actually it was Peachy top over at Yarnspirations, I believe it is, that I was looking at doing it. It's a 2-side panel top, and then you sew it together in the middle up the back, and then up the front as high as you want, and so forth. And I thought, okay, I'll try that. And I went over to the website, pulled up the pattern, and as you go up in the sizes, it tells you how much more yardage you need. And up to my size, it said about 1,400 yards. Okay. So, and I don't recall the yarn that was used in that one at this point, but I will link the crochet patterns and all in the bottom, in the description box, but at this point in time, this is just the acquisition. So that will come up in another video, because this is a future work in progress that will be done up, okay? But this is what I found. And I love the blue was the first thing that caught my eye. There was a pink and a green, which are Tropical Punch and, oh, I can't remember what the green one is, but it's a beautiful name and all. And at Treasure Island, that's what it was. Treasure Island. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, and let's see here. This is a 1. Very pretty. I really do love it. And it says to use an E-hook. Yes, an E-hook. Okay. And this colorway is Castaway. All right. And I picked up 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully this will be enough for the top. So if I need a 4th one, what I'll do at this point, because the Walmart over on Overland even had some yarns and colorways in certain yarns that my store does not have. So it looks like, if anything, I'll be ordering from the Overland store and then having it sent over to the Mountain Home store and do the pick and pay up the next time I go to town. So there's 3 of them. Oh, and the yardage is 437. So 3 of these is almost 1,300 yards. And as we all know, that when patterns are made up and all, they always go with the total yardage of yarn that they collected to use, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they used it all also. Okay, so 1,300 yards, and I'm going to cross my fingers it's enough. Otherwise, I'll have to order at least one more ball. But I did. As soon as I saw that blue, I started adding how many yards I needed to make the top. Okay, all right. And if they ever get in a purple one, believe me, I'll snatch that up in a heartbeat. Okay. Next up is the Fair Isle I did find. Okay. I found Derby, I went ahead and grabbed another parrot since it was there, even though they only had 1 candy and I don't need that. Okay, I picked up newspaper print. Okay. And then little one was kind enough that instead of having a Fair Isle weather tote bag from Moogly, she opted to go ahead and have me make hers out of this one. Whoops. Apologies. Because she likes all the bright colors that are in it. So, I'm going to do the fair weather tote bag, beach tote, in this for her. But the thing is that I'm not going to be making the full-size bag for the 3 girls that are in the school. These are going to be half the size. Because as I was working up the first one, I saw how customizable the pattern is. Tamara was working on the swatch bag in the tutorial, and I noticed that if she had used cotton, it could have been a soap bag as well. And as I was working on the pattern, I noticed that at the half point mark, when I folded the bag over in half, it was the great size for just the little purse bag for little ones to you know, play with or use and so forth. But the one thing I'm going to do with their bags is that I'm going to do the double crochets up until the halfway point. Then I'm going to put in that decorative row. Then after that, I'll put in the eyelet row. I think it was an eyelet row in the last. No, it wasn't. The eyelet row is in the handle, and this way, their bag won't drop anything out of the holes because I've moved the holes up. And Tamara even suggested that if you just wanted to do it all in double crochets and just do that, you know, by all means, go right ahead. So I've got neon stripes for little one, derby for one of the other girls, and newspaper print for the third one. Unless I go ahead and do up one in the candy, because I do have the extra scheme, and then that way I'll go ahead and hold on to the newsprint for me, and we'll just go from there and see what they like. I mean, if I can get one done for the craft fair in time, which is in 10 days, which I doubt I will, I will put it in the shop, or the craft fair. And like I said, what doesn't sell at the craft fair will be posted in my Etsy shop, and I'll put a link to that in the other videos. Okay, so that was the acquisitions from yesterday, and I have to say I'm pleased. However, I didn't realize it until later that there were a couple other yarns I wanted to check into, so I've made a note of those for a much later date, because I spent about $50 on yarn and the knitting needles yesterday, and I decided, yeah, I think I better put a stop to my yarn spending spree for a little while before he gets too upset. Okay, so that's the acquisitions on this occasion. Like I said, this is acquisitions 2, and I will go ahead and let everyone go and have fun. Okay, bye-bye.